Ortho Athletes have revolutionized the game once again. Through their amazing app, you can find the top doctors in the entire state. You were the MVP on the field, now you'll be the most valuable patient off the field. Ortho Athletes treats you like a 5-star. Download the app now and use the same doctors as professionals. Welcome back to the Utah Preps Podcast. I'm so glad to have you here once again. We're going over cornerbacks. Yes, that's right. Some of these guys play receiver. A lot of them play corner, but they are all phenomenally talented. They're coming from the best state where the best football is played. I'm your host, Moose Bingham, and let's get into some cornerback talk in the state of Utah for 2025. Starting out at number 10, we've got Jaden Kumbi. Jaden is an absolute dude coming out of Bingham. He has elite size already. He's becoming primed to become one of the top corners in the state. He played for Summit Academy last year and is making the jump to Bingham. He had 48 tackles, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble. It's no joke. If he stays on this trajectory, he's a Power 4 product. I just have to see him go against the top competition. But I was very, very impressed with him, especially being a 2028. I can't wait to see what he does this next year. Coming in at number 9, we've got Coleman Garn. Coleman's 6'1", coming out of Riverton. He's a long corner that does a really good job in zone coverage. He keeps everything beneath him and does a good job shutting down receivers. If someone does catch a ball on him, he has enough strength to lay a good hit and support in the run game. He's a kid that may transition to safety at the next level, but he's an absolute dude. Super fun to watch, super good kid. And I think he's a kid that the more you watch, the more excited you get. Riverton's got an absolute dog playing corner for him this next year. Coming in at number 8, we've got Manu Tuone. 6 foot, 190 pounds, 2027 coming out of West. Manu is an absolute dude. The sophomore exploded onto the scene and this year, and he did a great job locking up the number 1 receiver. What I like about West is they go out, they don't care who you are. They'll go to Georgia, they'll go to California, they'll play anybody. But this is a kid, he locked up number 1 receivers. He climbed the ladder extremely well, but more than that, he's physical. He can lay the wood anytime. Look at that hit right there. My goodness gracious. I like how West moves him around from in the box to on an island. He can blitz and he gives elite effort at all times. He's a dude that's flying under the radar right now, but not for long, mark my words. Coming in at number 7, we've got a really interesting prospect right here, Spencer Hafoka. Spencer is 6 foot, 175 pounds, coming out of Pleasant Grove. I love Spencer on defense. I know you're going to see some offensive highlights from him in this little clip, but he does have some of those, and you're just like, maybe this kid's on either side of the ball kind of kid. He's special on defense. He has the ability to play the ball in the air. That is fantastic. And he does a good job attacking the flats. The best of all is his special teams play on top of all of that, where you're like, oh my goodness, this kid is getting down, getting tackles, and you love to watch it. He has good technique, and he's a kid that's a big play that's just waiting to happen. Coming in at number 6, we've got Finn Maurer. 5'11", 150 pounds, coming out of Westlake. The 2026 kid is an absolute amazing player. Finn showed some great flashes last year. He does a really good job staying in his back pedal. A lot of guys, they'll flip out of their back pedal too soon. Not Finn, I'll tell you that. He analyzes the field and he can play both man and press coverage with solid technique and even does good ball in technique as well. He attacks the flats with abandonment and gets everything possible out of his frame. He's one of the more feared cornerbacks in his region, and he's a guy you don't want to see lined up across from you on Friday nights. Coming in at number 5, we've got Braxton Wilkerson. Braxton, 6 foot, out of Timpview. I really like this young man a lot. He's going to be a menace on both sides of the ball. He's a do-it-all player. Coming from Orem, he used his receiver skills to blanket opponent receivers, and he played the ball better than them most of the time. It's almost like he knew the routes they were going to run, and he's like, I can do you one better. Let me show you how it's done. He's opportunistic when playing the ball, and he does a good job when the ball is in his hands. He is a solid receiver. Don't get me wrong. He's a true two-way star at the high school level, and he's a kid that should be showing out for Timpview this next year, as they did lose a lot on the receiving core. I can't wait to see what he does. Coming in at number 4, we've got one of my favorite players in the entire state, Hugh Matsumori. Hugh is 5'9", 170 pounds, coming out of Olympus, and he has been balling since his sophomore year. Every time I watch Hugh, I come away more impressed. He has that it factor when you watch games. Even as a sophomore, you sit there in awe, saying this dude might be the best player on the field, even though guys are 1-2 years older than him. Going into his senior year, though, he is a true leader on the team and is one of the top shutdown players in the state. He is a Smith Snowden-esque in his ability, not incredible size, but he can get it done on both sides of the ball. He is probably the hardest hitting corner on the list. If he were a couple inches taller, he'd be a national recruit. He runs through receivers, and with his lightning bug shoes, he is a kid that I think has a chance to be 5A MVP when everything's said and done. He's that talented at the high school level, and he's a kid that college coaches need to keep an eye on because he's doing hits like that, being smart, he's very deliberate in everything he does, and he's just a great kid on and off the field. Coming in at number 4B, Joaquin Rogers. He's coming in from California. He's a very interesting prospect. I didn't quite know where to put him. He's 6 foot, 180 pounds. He'll be playing for Corner Canyon this next year, so watch out. The transfer in from Folsom, California, he's listed as a receiver on his Twitter, but his corner film is very good. He has great technique, and he does a good job with his eyes. He's solid in man press, and you don't see that a lot in Utah, but he's a kid that's really going to open up for Cody Gardner if he can beat out the incumbent starters at Corner Canyon. He has good speed and is an overall solid player on both sides of the ball. I can't wait to see what he does at the state's highest division because he's a kid that could be special, but we got to wait and see because there's a lot of kids transferring into that division because they want to play the best because they think they're the best. At number 3, we've got a junior, Gennaro Guilford Jr., the 2027 cornerback coming out of Skyridge. As a sophomore, my goodness, he has been asked to do a lot. I've been watching Gennaro Jr. since he was running track as a little kid, and I was recruiting at BYU. And last year, everything started to come together, and he's finally grown into his body. I'm not sure if there is a receiver in the state this year that will get the best of him. He had a fantastic sophomore run with great technique. His eyes, his length, his set is going to separate him from other players on the list. What was most impressive is he had no problem taking on number 1 receivers as a sophomore. I think you're going to see his junior year, he's a kid that can become a national recruit. And I don't say that lightly. He's an absolute dude, and you don't want to fly in his zone because it's a no-fly zone and you won't get a ticket on that airplane. Coming in at number 2, we've got the number 2 corner, Dante Dyson. 6 foot, 170 pounds, 2026 out of Northridge. Dante really impressed me. I went to a Northridge Viewmont game, and I just kept asking, who's that kid, who's that kid, and who's that kid? Dante is a dude that I stopped announcing in a game to try and figure out who is that junior that's killing it in coverage. He has great football pedigree with his dad playing in the NFL, but it doesn't matter because he's his own man on the field. He does a good job on returning. He has speed to get to the house, both on offense and special teams, and he's confident enough to be left on an island, and it's an island no receiver wants to visit. He is physical, flies around the field, and he's just getting started. He's a kid that's going to have a massive year for Northridge. He's the best DB there since Diane Golonoku or Diane Lake graced the halls of Northridge. So excited to watch Dante Dyson this next year. Also, what you guys got to realize is there's a ton of other corners that you should be looking at. I love a lot of these kids, and they're dudes that could end up being top corners in the state when everything's said and done, where you're just like, oh my goodness. Will Rasmussen has offers to Hawaii. He's a kid that is going to come into his own this next year. There's a lot of kids. Ty Pringle, I really like a lot. These are dudes that you need to watch out for because they are going to be gunning for one of the top 10 spots when everything's said and done. I'm willing to bet that one of these guys will lead the state in interceptions and try to take what's given to the guys ahead of him. That's what's great about the Utah Preps podcast, is because you guys are going to be the ones that control your own destiny at cornerback this next year. Finally, coming in at number 1, we've got Celesi Moa. Celesi's 6'2", 190 pounds. He's a kid that on both sides of the ball, I could have rated him as the number 1 receiver, as you'll watch some of his receiver films. And you won't see very many cornerback films because people just stopped throwing at him. He had 5 balls thrown his way, 2 interceptions, and I believe 3 batted balls. You don't produce a lot of cornerback film when that happens. And Celesi, he could have been this top safety as well. Any other position, he's literally the cream of the crop. Number 4-star athlete. He's a 4-star. He's so detail-oriented that it's crazy. He's freaking stud, and I can't say enough good things about him on and off the field as a true shutdown corner. If someone dares to throw the ball near him, it's more than likely to get intercepted like that because he is taking it the other way. You have to game plan for him. He is the epitome of a blanket shutdown corner. And at the next level, I can see him playing a plethora of positions. He's just that good. He's just that talented. There's a reason he's one of the top 100 athletes in the entire country. I don't think I've seen a player like him at Fremont ever. Congratulations, Celesi Moa, on being the number 1 athlete in Utah and the number 1 corner on the Utah Preps podcast.